Hello, welcome back once again to Viper Bytes, and we are going to continue our coverage on the NFL Combine here, breaking down my rankings. We've talked quarterbacks, we've talked tight ends, we've even broken down the running back position. Now we are going to talk about the wide receivers and how I have them ranked heading into those fantasy football drafts. Now, before we get into that, hey, hit that like button here right now if you're watching us on the YouTube, on the Vipers Network. And hey, if you're listening to us on podcast form there, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, whatever that might be, take a second, rate and review, throw those stars out there. Appreciate that. And head over to fantasypoints.com. You want 10% off? Enter promo code VIPERS22. We got you covered. One-stop shop for all your fantasy football needs. Now, let's get right into this because we got a very short period of time, and we've got 18 wide receivers that I'm going to talk about very shortly, very quickly, but break it all down, and I'll give you my wide receiver draft rankings right after the Combine here. Now, at number one, he did not participate at the Combine as far as testing is concerned. Battled a little bit of an injury. We know his story. 6'4", 219 pounds, 33-inch arms, 9-inch 3/8 hands. Hey, I like him big. If you're a big outside wide receiver, you're going to get my attention. And we're going to start with USC's very own Drake London. Yes, controversy right off the get-go. I know not a lot of people have Drake London as their number one prospect at the wide receiver position. I do. And hey, back in the day, I would say, okay, you got a USC wide receiver ranked number one, forget about it. But hey, we've seen Robert Woods come and have success. We've seen Juju Smith-Schuster have a success to a degree. We've seen what Amon-Ra St. Brown did last year. And hey, when you're looking at what Drake London did, he was able to produce with Amon-Ra St. Brown on the field for the Trojans. So yeah, you're going to go get the number one spot this year. And by the way, he produced all season long this year. At number two, Arkansas's Treylon Burks, 6.32 RAS score, 6'2", 225, 33.5-inch arms, 9 7/8-inch hands. Hey, he did not test very well. He did not look like he was prepared for the testing portion of this Combine. 4.55 40, 33-inch vertical, 122-inch broad jump, 7.28 3-cone drill. None of those scream out big time player. And I've heard names thrown out at him. I've heard comps to A.J. Brown, to Devontae Adams. I've even heard Alshon Jeffrey. So there is a varying degree of what people believe Treylon Burks can do. I've seen him as number one. I've seen him as number 5 on rankings. So for me, he comes in at number 2. Number 3, another wide receiver, battled a little bit of an injury, missed a lot of time, was not able to participate in the testing at the Combine. Jameson Williams, Alabama, 6'1", 179, 32 1/8-inch arms, 9 1/4-inch hands. We know he can fly. When he gets out on you, he can stem those other DBs and break it off with the best of them. Hey, when we talk about Alabama, we'll talk about John Michie a little bit later. These are guys who played with Jalen Waddle, with Devonta Smith. We're able to be productive with those players, so we know that they can play in the NFL. There's no doubt in my mind, Jameson Williams is the real deal. Look it up. The numbers back that up. Number 4, Chris Olave, Ohio State, 7.83 RAS score, 6 foot, 187, 31 1/8 hands or arms, 9.5-inch hands. He didn't quite run the 4.26 40 that he originally got, but hey, you know what? 4.39 ain't so bad. 32-inch vertical, a 124 on the broad jump. We know Olave, he is a speedster. He can make things happen. He is definitely going to be a top 5 wide receiver in this draft class. Another guy, another wide receiver going in the first round. Hey, there could be as many as 6 wide receivers going in the first round and 2 Ohio State wide receivers. And the next one, Garrett Wilson, 7.64 RAS score, 6 foot, 183, 32-inch arms, 9 7/8-inch hands, almost a spit image of Olave here. 4.38 40, 36-inch vertical, and a 123 broad jump. He also did the shuttle just for fun, 4.36. Those are my top 5. At number 6, he's a guy, I'm trying to find a way to move him up, but I can't move him up above any of these guys in the top 5. That's how I feel about the top 5. Number 6, George Pickens, 8.41 RAS score, 6'3", 195. You know I like him big. 32 3/8 arms, 8 3/4-inch hands, 4.4740. That was the impressive number for Pickens for me in the combine. 33-inch vertical, a 125 broad jump. Pickens is a guy who could move up as we get closer to the draft. Number 7, I talked about Jameson Williams earlier. I talked about Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, and those Alabama wide receivers. John Michie is another one of those guys that can get the job done, has done the job, especially when guys like Jalen Waddle went down last year. It was John Michie who stepped up for the Crimson Tide. 5'11", 187, 30 and 5/8-inch arms, 9 1/4-inch hands. Again, another guy like Jameson Williams, like Drake London, banged up, battling some injuries, was not able to participate in the testing at the combine. At number 8, maybe my guy, my favorite wide receiver in this year's class. I'm probably too low on him right now. Some probably call me crazy to have him at number 8. North Dakota State's Christian Watson. What an athletic freak show he put on at the combine. 9.98 RAS score. These RAS scores are out of 10. He was 2 100ths away from a perfect RAS score. Are you kidding me? How do you run a 4.3640 at 6'4", 208 pounds? He's also got a 32.5-inch arms, wingspan there, and a 10 1/4-8-inch hand. Throw in a 38.5-inch vertical with a 136 broad jump. You know he's explosive. Go back, put the film on from the Reese's Senior Bowl and what he was able to do and the leverage he was able to create, especially in the red zone. This guy is going to be a problem for opposing DBs at the next level. Another wide receiver who probably saw his stock shoot up through this combine. Let's just say it's probably went through the sky, and it's Skye Moore out of Western Michigan. 5'10", 195, 31-inch hands, 10 1/4-inch hands. Sorry, those arms are 31 inches. But that 4.4140, 34.5-inch vertical, 126-inch broad jump, 7.133 cone. And hey, just to top it all off, a 4.32 shuttle. Add those numbers up. That gives you a good solid RAS score of a 6.83. The sky is the limit for Skye Moore in Western Michigan's very own stud wide receiver there. Look for him to be moving up draft boards here as we get closer and closer to Vegas for the NFL draft in 2022. Now, another wide receiver maybe took a bit of a back seat here. Didn't really test all that well. Ran the 40, 4.65, 33-inch vertical, 118 broad jump, 7.143 cone. Hey, a 4.57 shuttle. These numbers kind of scream, okay, this sounds like Tyler Johnson. But no, it's Purdue's David Bell. We know what he can do on the field. He produces when given an opportunity to do so. The RAS score, to me, is probably not indicative of what he's going to be able to do. 2.72 on that score. 6'1", 212 pounds, 31 7/8-inch arms, 9 1/4-inch hands. David Bell comes in at number 10 for me. Now, the one wide receiver that I don't know how I feel yet. He's a guy that could move up all the way to 6. He could even threaten to be in the top 5 when it's all said and done. I'm not too sure how I feel about him because he was nailing it during all the drills in Indianapolis. I mean, look at the numbers here. 4.42, 40, 36-inch vertical, 121 broad jump, 7.283 cone. Yes, I am talking about Penn State's own Jahan Dotson. RAS score, 4.94, 5'11", 178. Not the biggest guy out there, but he may have the best hands out of any wide receiver in this year's class. Think of him as more of a Deontay Johnson, but can actually catch the ball. Now, number 12, another one of my guys, one of my favorite guys. Been talking about him in the offseason before the season even kicked off here. Jalen Tolbert, South Alabama, 7.98 RAS score. Based on the strength of a 4.4240, a 36-inch vertical, a 123 broad jump, and a 7.083 cone. He's another guy who comes in about that 6-foot range at 6'1", 194, 32 1/4-inch arms, and 10-inch hands. Big hands for a lot of these wide receivers. At number 13, maybe I'm too high on him. Maybe I just like big guys here. I like big guys, but I also like big guys who are athletic. 6'3", 211. That definitely classifies as big, but at a 9.78 RAS score, woo! Chalk it up. Put him on my cue him up in my list right now. Alec Pierce, Cincinnati, 4.4140. 40.5-inch vertical. The dude can get up and get after it. 129-inch broad jump with a 7.133 cone and a shuttle at 4.28. Good Lord, that is amazing. Number 14, Justin Ross, Clemson. He's a guy who could come back. We know his injury history. We know that the red flags are there. We know NFL teams are going to take that into account when they look at drafting him. So his draft capital is going to be a lot lower than what his talent speaks to. 6'4", 205, 32 and 1/8 inch arms, 9 and 5/8 inch hands. Didn't do a whole lot of testing. He did get the bench press, but I'd rather not talk about that. 11 reps. And for me, number 14 is kind of that sweet spot for him. I know a lot of people are going to be, well, Justin Ross's talent screams higher, but hey, those red flags, those neck injuries, all that other stuff has me a little bit weary. And number 15, hey, we like him something. We got to give the little guys a little bit of love too. So let's talk about Wandel Robinson out of Kentucky. Guy is electric with the ball in his hands. We know what he can do. 5'8", 178. Definitely not that big guy. 27, 5/8 inch arms, 9-inch hands. But hey, he can move a little bit. 4.4, 440 with a 34.5 inch vertical and a 118-inch broad jump. At number 16, Khalil Shakir, Boise State. Another guy who tested well. 7.35 with the RAS score. 6 foot, 196, 29-inch arms with a 9.5-inch hand. Hey, he ran well. 4.43, 34.5 inch vertical at a 124 broad jump with a 3-cone that came in at 7.28 and a shuttle at 4.21. Now, and the guy who absolutely blew things away there as well when it came to the RAS scoring, how about a wide receiver who comes in at 5'8", 170 pounds, who can run the 40 to 4.32 seconds, can jump out of the gym at 39 inches, has a broad jump of 135, a 3-cone of 6.65, and a shuttle of 4.07. That's Memphis's very own Calvin Austin III. A guy to keep an eye on. He's a guy who could move up ahead of some of these guys. I just can't see where to move him. I don't know where to put him up in my rankings, but hey, he's there. Let's talk about him. Make sure to pay attention to where he's falling in your drafts. And at number 18, hey, maybe I just want to will this into being something, but I'm going to put Kyle Phillips, UCLA, in the discussion as one of those sleeper type wide receivers. Hey, there's nothing that screams athletic to me here when I look at the numbers. 5'11", 189. His 40, 4.58. His vertical, 33.5. His broad jump, 124. His RAS score, 4.52. That is below average at the wide receiver position. But hey, you know what? Sometimes we need to take a chance on a player. And I think Kyle Phillips is that guy that can get the job done. You're going to hear a lot of people talking about him as we get closer and closer to the draft as a possible sleeper, a deep round kind of guy that teams are going to be looking to add. So let's kind of recap here what we have on our draft post-combine wide receiver rankings. Number 1, USC's Drake London. Number 2, Arkansas's Treylon Burks. Number 3, Jameson Williams of Alabama. Then at 4 and 5, we got Ohio State teammates Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. And number 6, George Pickens out of Georgia. Number 7, Jameson Williams' teammate, John Michie out of Alabama. Number 8, and man, I want to put him higher, but I just can't do it right now, Christian Watson, North Dakota State. At number 9, Skye Moore, Western Michigan. Number 10, David Bell, Purdue. Number 11, and I guarantee he's not going to stay here at number 11 very long, Jahan Dotson, Penn State. And number 12, Jalen Tolbert, South Alabama. At number 13, Alec Pierce, athletic freak show if I've ever seen one, out of Cincinnati. Number 14, maybe one of the players with the most talent, the most ability. Too many red flags for me. Justin Ross out of Clemson. Number 15, Wandel Robinson, Kentucky. Number 16, Khalil Shakir out of Boise State. Number 17, Memphis's own Calvin Austin III. And to round out the top 18, just because I wanted to throw him on the list, Kyle Phillips out of UCLA. Hey, agree with me, disagree with me, whatever that is, drop those comments down below. Let me know what you think. And hey, make sure to hit that like button. Head over to fantasypoints.com. Enter promo code VIPERS22 and get 10% off that subscription today. See you next time.